Hello everyone. In BE Information Technology, third semester, subject is discrete structure and graph theory. I am Professor H.D. Padia from Shri Sant Gajanan Maharaj College of Engineering, Shegaon. For any subject related query, you can contact on my mail ID that is mentioned here. Now we will move to the classification of the mathematics. The general mathematics that we have studied, that's we call a continuous mathematics. We will see the classification. Mathematics can be broadly classified into two categories. The first is continuous mathematics and second is discrete mathematics. The meaning of the continuous, that is the anything without break, that's we call the continuous. Just like we have any graph, that's we call the continuous. The continuous mathematics, it is based upon the continuous number line or real numbers. It is characterized by the fact that between any two numbers there are almost always an infinite set of numbers. For example, a function in continuous mathematics can be plotted in a smooth curve without break. The example for continuous mathematics is a graph of sine or the cosine wave. We are already familiar with this graph. If we observe the graph of sine or cosine, then they are the change in a smooth nature. Means between the any 2 points we can calculate or we can observe the infinite number of values. That's we call the continuous. Now we'll see the second type of the mathematics, that is discrete mathematics. The meaning of discrete is distinct, or that's we call the finite number of values. It involves the distinct values, that is between any 2 points there are countable number of points. For example, if we have a finite set of objects, the function can be defined as a list of ordered pairs having these objects and can be presented as a complete list of those pairs. We are familiar with the two data types, one is integer and one is float. Then we can discuss here, if we have the integer values between the 1 to 10, then these values are countable. That's we call the finite values, because we have the 1, then next value is 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Means from the 1 to 10 there are the countable number of values in integer. But if we discuss about the float, then between the 1 to 10 there may be the infinite number of values. The float value may be the 1.1, 1.2, 1.2.1, 1.22, 1.23, 1.24, 2.1, 2.22, 2.225. Means there are the infinite number of values for the float between 1 to 10. This is a continuous mathematics. The continuous means we have to remind that infinite and uncountable, and discrete means the finite values and the countable values. That's we call the discrete mathematics. Now here, to understand this classification, we have the one picture. Here we have taken the three examples. In first, we have one analog clock. Now in this clock, we can take the infinite number of timing values. Means we can collect the any timing value in nanosecond, microsecond. It's depend on our observation. But in second, the digital clock, there are only the finite number of values that are the countable, because it has only the change of time by the 1 second. The timing is your 59 second, then next will the 60 second, then 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. But we cannot calculate the 1.1 second. Means we cannot calculate the in microsecond or nanosecond. Again we have the second example. In second example also we have the one voltmeter. The first is the analog. We can observe the infinite number of values because it is an analog. It's depend on our observation, that how minutely we can observe. It may be the 1.11, 1.12, But in second, we have the digital voltmeter, then its scope is only the 29.29, then next well 29.30. In third example, we have the two joysticks. The first joystick is analog, means we can move in the 360-degree and we can take the values at any place, the infinite number of values. But in second example, we have only the four positions, means four values for the joystick. It may be the upper, the right, lower and the left. Means we have only the finite number of values, 4. But in first, we can take the value at any place by rotating your joystick in the 360-degree. These are the examples. The discrete structure is a set of discrete elements on which certain operations are defined. Discrete implies the non-continuous, and therefore the discrete set includes the finite and countable sets but not uncountable sets as the real numbers. We have to remind, I am repeating, the continuous means infinite number of values and uncountable, and discrete means the definite means finite number of values and the countable values. Now we will discuss the topics in discrete mathematics. Though there cannot be a definite number of branches of discrete mathematics, the following topics are almost always covered in any study regarding these matters. As per the syllabus of HGPU, following are the some topics that we have to cover in upcoming lectures. We have to cover the set, relations and functions, the mathematical logics, group theory, counting theory, probability, mathematical induction and recurrence relations, graph theory, trees and Boolean algebra. These are the all topics as per the AICTE curriculum and the syllabus. Now we will discuss that what are the benefits to the students after the completion of this course. That's we call the course outcomes. After the completion of this course, student will be able to recall and explain the basic terminologies, formal logic, predicate calculus, proofs, sets, relations, ordering and functions. The student will be able to apply the formal logic proof and logical reasoning to solve the discrete problems. The student will be able to apply algebraic system properties and identities, grammar and lattice properties to solve problems. Student will be able to analyze the Boolean expression using various simplification methods, just like the K-map. The student will be able to apply the graph theory and to solve the problems based on the graphs, trees and related algorithms. These are the course outcomes. Now we'll start unit 1, that is mathematical logic. In this unit we have to cover the statements and notation, second point connectives, normal forms, the theory of inference for the statement calculus, predicate calculus, and at last we have to cover the theory of the predicate calculus. We'll start the first point, that is statement and notations. There are the two terminologies in English. The one is sentence and one is the statement. We'll look the statements. In any case, all the declarative sentences to which it is possible to assign one and only one of the two possible truth values are called the statements. Means statement is a one sentence to which we can define the conclusion, means which has the truth value, it may be true or it may be false. We'll take some examples. The first example is India is a country. We'll discuss the India is a country. It is a one sentence, but to this sentence we can conclude the result, means we can assign the truth value that it is true or it is false. India is a country, this truth value is true. That's why it is a statement, means it has a truth value true. It is a statement. The second example is Mumbai is the capital of India. Again, it is a one English sentence, but to this sentence we can assign a truth value. Mumbai is the capital of India. Mumbai is not a capital of India because Delhi is the capital of India. This statement is false, but we can assign the truth value. That's why it is a statement. The third example is this statement is false. Now to this statement we cannot assign a truth value. That's why it is not a statement, it is a sentence, because it is depend on the this. What is your statement? On that it is depend. If we know this statement, then we can say that this statement is false or this statement is true. Means we cannot define the truth value. That's why this statement is false, it is a sentence. The fourth is the 1 plus 101 is equals to 110. That is one mathematical expression. Now in that, the true or false, this conclusion is depend on the context, means on the number system. If it is a binary number system, then this 1 plus 101 is true. But if it is a decimal number system, then this 1 plus 101 is false. But it is not our interest that what is the context. The main thing is that we can assign the truth value or not. 1 plus 101 is equals to 110. To that we can assign the truth value, but it is dependent on the context. That's why it is also a statement. The fifth is close the door. Now see, close the door, to this sentence we cannot assign any truth value. We cannot say that close the door, this sentence is true or false, because it is a one order sentence. That's why it is not a statement. We cannot define the truth value to the sentence close the door. Let's have the last example. Two young students are clever. Now, to this sentence we can assign a truth value, that it is true or it is false. Actually, it is depend on the definition of your clever, means your criteria of the clever. But we can assign the truth value. That's why two young students are clever, it is a statement. We can say that this sentence is true or this sentence is false. Means if to any sentence we can assign the truth value, then we call it is a statement. And if we cannot define the truth value, then it is a sentence. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is types of statements. There are the two types of the statements. The first is atomic, primary or primitive statements. The simple statement without connectives are called the atomic, primary or primitive statements. Means any statement without any connectives, just like the and, or but, that's we call the atomic, primary or primitive statements. We have the example, India is a country. It is a single statement. That's why we call it is an atomic statement. The second is Mumbai is capital of India. Doesn't matter what is your conclusion, your statement is true or false. The statement without any connective, that's we call the atomic, primary or primitive. The second type is compound or the molecular statement. The statement formed from atomic statements through the use of sentential connectives is called the compound or molecular statement. Means in general, the compound or molecular statement is a statement formed by combining the two atomic statements. The example is India is a country and Delhi is a capital of India. Now in this example, India is a country, that is a first atomic statement, and Delhi is a capital of India, that is a second atomic statement. By joining this atomic statement by the and connective, we have formed the compound statement. We'll move to the next topic, that is the notations. In discrete mathematics, to define all these connectives, we have the different symbols. That's we call the notations. The notations are symbols used to form the molecular statement. The notations are symbols for connectives in the statements. We have provided some basic notations with the meaning. The first notation is AND. It is denoted by these two symbols and its meaning is negation of P, and we read it as a not P. The second is P and Q, and we read it as a P and Q. The third is P or Q, that is a symbol for the OR operation. We read it as a P or Q. The third is a single arrow, that's we call the P implies Q. Its meaning is if P then Q. We have all the operations in deep. The second is double implies, that is P double implies Q, and its meaning is P if and only if Q. The next is the logical equivalence, that's we read that P is logically equivalent to Q. The next symbol is to define for all. The next notation is that we read that there exists. The next 0 or app. In discrete mathematics we use the app, and in digital terms we use as a 0. That is for the logical false value. Same, the last notation is 1 or t. In discrete mathematics we use the t for the true, and in digital we denote it by the 1. That is the logical true value.